Hey guys, Sundown here. Before we get into my review, I want to quickly address the shootings that have gone down in, I think it's in New Zealand, Christchurch, I think it is. I just want to extend kind of my sympathies to all the people in New Zealand. I mean, these are 49 Muslims who were murdered whilst they prayed, whilst I think it was whilst they were waiting for prayer, or possibly had just finished and were just chilling in the mosque essentially. Got shot down by some crazy terrorist is what the term should be instead of gunman. Um, but yeah, I hope not just myself but Muslims around the globe and people around the globe can offer the du'as and praise to the people to the individuals who were murdered in cold blood. And all we can really say is inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Um, and more than that, it's I feel like it's not just a Muslim thing. It shouldn't just be something that the ummah, the Muslim nation, should be appalled by. This is a human catastrophe, and should be something that we all, as humans, stand up and fight against and actively disapprove of within our communities. Especially seeing as this happened within New Zealand, which is quite. I think it's pretty much an extraordinary event, and as the Muslims have always done, we will continue to persist, continue to love, to educate, to push the boundaries of knowledge, to feed into our communities, to better our communities, and to be kind of hubs of knowledge and guidance. And we will continue to uh, endeavor to be the best we can be and continue to prepare for akhirah, um, because that's all part and parcel of being a Muslim. So that's just the way things are. Thanks. And that takes us into the bulk of the review. So this is One Piece 935 to 936, Queen and Sumo Inferno. So it's a double chapter review here because I couldn't get it done last week due to my laziness. So first, what do we learn? Raizo finally steals the keys to Luffy's cuffs, and he makes a beeline for the mines where Luffy slaves away. Second, Luffy lands a powerful blow on Daifugo, the Scorpion Smile user, but doesn't knock him out completely or anything like that, due to him being in a weakened state because of the Kairoseki cuffs. And in response to Luffy's kind of disruptiveness, the head jailer comes out, a man named Babanuki, I think it is, yeah. And he's the elephant smile user. He looks pretty cool. He has an elephant head on his chest, a crazy looking dude. He tells Daifugo that Luffy is definitely being affected by the Kairoseki, but his spirit is strong, which is keeping him going and running, which is why Luffy is as strong as he is, and why Daifugo almost got his ass whooped. But he did get his ass whooped. He almost got knocked out though. Anyway, Babanuki shoots a cannon out of the elephant's trunk, taking Luffy by surprise and actually hurting him a little, which was quite surprising. And Luffy mentions that he can't use his haki, which could mean one of two things, and I think the second of the two things is probably the most plausible. So number one, the Kairoseki handcuffs disable haki. That could be what's been suggested here. Or number two, Luffy, who has been drained of his kind of energy by the Kairoseki, does not have enough strength or energy to utilize haki, which is what I assume it is, and what I assume you guys will assume it is. Anyway, while Luffy's on the floor, we're finally properly introduced to Queen. A few things to note here. This dude is a lot less serious than I thought he'd be. I thought he'd be like very. I mean, his design always pointed towards kind of like a silly kind of character, but he comes out dancing, wearing dungarees, and looking a hell of a lot like a clown in a circus act, and he's kind of Gangnam styling all across the stage. And I'm like, yo, okay, this dude's a bit cray cray. Also, he has a robotic left arm and two swords, one at each hip. They don't look to be particularly like well crafted, legendary type blades or anything like that. He doesn't strike me as much of a swordsman, but I could be wrong. I mean, when he's fighting against someone, he could introduce his blades. They could be named blades. They could be legendary blades. Who knows? But he doesn't strike me as that type of guy. Finally, his bounty is 1,320,000,000 berry. That's the third highest bounty so far, I think, after Luffy and somebody else. After Luffy and I forget who the other person is. But that's the third highest bounty so far. He must enjoy causing a ruckus of some sort. And we then get the head jailer Babanuki reporting the three most troublesome issues he has. He has to Queen. He's just there like reporting to his manager essentially. He's like, yeah, these are the issues I'm facing. So he tells Queen three of the pretty important mishaps that have gone down. So he tells him about Kid's escape, the loss of some of the prison keys or a prison key, and Luffy being on the run. And I loved Queen's reaction. He has this most splendid reaction, and I love this scene. And this kind of extends to everyone in this prison, but they all seem a bit lax. Maybe something that lies with Queen and kind of the energy and vibe he gives off. Everyone in the prison is just really lax. Like this Babanuki guy, he's there fighting Luffy. Queen comes, turns around, he's just having a conversation with him, and Luffy's on the run, and you're just like, dude, like address the issue at hand. What are you doing? So we then go to Ibisu Town, where the scene is essentially designed just to tell us that Zoro's sword has gone missing, it's been stolen, and he's chasing down the criminal. Also, Sanji's gone missing, so that's all we learned there, and all we really needed to know. We then go to the bathhouses, where Nami and Robin provide fan service to the max. Great. We're told here about Hyogoro of the Flowers again, about how he was this chivalrous leader of the Yakuza, powerful and beloved by the masses, so well respected that Shinobu actually believes they could gather all the samurai with just his presence. If he was there, if he was alive, he'd be able to gather all the samurai just by being there. So we're given a little bit of history behind this too. Apparently, Odin idolized Hyogoro, so Old Man Hyo has got to be pretty strong. I mean, like if someone like Odin is idolizing this guy, he looks to him with like that's his aspiration to be something like that. Guy's got to be powerful. Second, Hyogoro and the leader of the Oniwabanshu, Fukurokuju, they swore fealty to Odin, or they had some sort of allegiance to Odin, with Hyogoro refusing to bend the knee to Orochi once he popped up, and Fukurokuju switching sides, so essentially changing his fealties and changing his allegiances. And it turns out that Shinobu was one of the Oniwabanshu at this point, and due to Fukurokuju's change in fealty, she left and has been chased by the Oniwabanshu ever since. So that's why she's on the kind of run from them. From the fan service, we then go back to Udon, where Queen tries to get a captured Luffy to join the Beast Pirates, and he also confirms that the malnourished old man Hyo is indeed Hyogoro, the legendary Yakuza, and Hyogoro's bond to Luffy is shown here, with him pleading for Luffy's survival, essentially for Luffy's safety, even when he cannot confirm his own safety. You can bet your ass that Luffy's going to try his best to keep the old man alive and safe. I think he's earned Luffy's respect after having kind of just shown his unselfishness, especially concerning his own life. He's there basically pleading for Luffy's safety, and he's there with his head on the line as well. He's going to be executed the same way Luffy is. So he's there pleading for Luffy, and Luffy's looking at him like, you know what, I got your back. So while this is going on, Raizo watches from behind a cart, wondering how to free Luffy of his cuffs when Queen is right in front of him. And from behind Raizo, however, an old ally makes his presence known. A dude called Kawamatsu, the fish bone spitting prisoner, who he seems to be a friend of Raizo's, and he wants to be set free. So chapter 936 starts. I think this one's called Sumo Inferno. And we start with Raizo and Kawamatsu talking. Kawamatsu has survived for 13 years in that prison on rotten fish, and that's kind of nasty. But also Raizo informs him of when the battle will occur, the final battle at least. So Kawamatsu knows, he now knows when the fight will occur, when it will be, where it will be, and is ready, apparently. Even though he's been in prison for 13 years, he's like, I'm ready to fight, I'm ready to go. So I'm questioning that, but he seems to be pretty happy about it. So he asks Raizo to free him, but Raizo flees when he is recognized by some members of the Beast Pirates in the prison. And they're like, yo, he's the guy that sold the key. So he quick time like just uses some sort of smoke jutsu, and he flees essentially. So we go back to Luffy and Hyogoro, who are put through a trial by Queen for their survival. Did I say trial? He's put through a trial by Queen. They're both put through this kind of death by trial. And firstly, Luffy has very obviously gained a lot of muscle mass. He's lacked power in ever since, really. I think he's gone against the big boys in the New World, and so hopefully this will give him a dramatic boost in base strength. You can see it on him. He's carrying a lot more weight than we're used to seeing Luffy drawn with. Anyway, collars are put around both Luffy and Hyogoro's necks within a sumo ring, and the idea is they'll fight as a tag team against uneven numbers, people who are armed, people who have no collars, and if they fall out of the ring, the collars have these kind of concealed blades within which extend inwards and will lop off their heads essentially if they fall out of the ring. Now, obviously, the odds are stacked against Luffy and the old man, but Queen does them the favor of removing their Kairoseki cuffs. Now, I feel this will be something Queen will eventually come to regret big time. I doubt Luffy would be able to beat someone on this level, on his level, on Queen's level. I mean, like, he did beat Katakuri, but this is another kettle of fish here. So I feel like Luffy wouldn't really be able to beat him, especially considering his fatigue, and with everyone else in the prison around him. But from what we've heard, Hyogoro was a bit of a beast. He was a bit of a monster. So I feel like Queen is underestimating the once leader of the Yakuza, but you have to also remember that this once leader of the Yakuza is incredibly malnourished, and his entire muscle mass is gone. He's very, very weakened, but we don't know what that says about his haki. Anyway, if they ring out, like I've mentioned before, these collars will behead either Luffy or Hyogoro or both of them. So Queen begins the first wave of this trial. As the fight begins and with Luffy's strength back, he unleashes a blast of haoshoku, knocking the first wave out. Queen isn't really fazed by this. He's just like, yeah, alright, another haoshoku user. Whilst the rest of the crowd are shocked shitless. Hyogoro seems relatively unfazed, but he seems to be either shocked or is considering something. While Kawamatsu relies on Luffy to keep old man Hyogoro safe. So I think it might be safe to say that Kawamatsu... but actually, this isn't really safe to say. Kawamatsu may or may not have been a retainer of Oden, but he was at least indebted to Hyogoro, or a member of the Yakuza or something like that. So he is possibly indebted to both Oden and Hyogoro in some way. Maybe not Oden so much, but Hyogoro definitely. Also, his laugh is kappa, kappa. It's something like kappa. So I was thinking that it's safe to assume that this dude's a kappa, but I was reading the library of Ohara. Check his out. He does like some intense written analyses of chapters and stuff like that. And he was saying that this guy could be an otter mink of some sort. I didn't even realize that was a thing, but apparently that's what this hints at. Maybe I think his laugh is something like that. Is like an onomatopoeia or something like that for otters, and I think he wears some kind of traditional hat. I think it's a kasa hat, amigasa hat. I think I forgot what it was, but he might be wearing that, which is why I assumed kappa from his kind of silhouette. But apparently he might be an otter mink, which is quite unique, to be honest. So we then go back to the bathhouse where Hawkins and Drake have cordoned off the area, and they tell everyone to show their ankles, investigating them for tattoos of crescent moons. While the Beast Pirates go in to search, Nami and Robin hide behind Shinobu, but someone notices them hiding. It must have been Hawkins, and he unleashes his sword, forcing Nami to come out while Robin prepares to back her if anything does happen. So Nami purposefully walks out, lets her towel slip off of her naked body, unleashing her own unique variety of haoshoku no haki, causing all the men in the vicinity to have nosebleeds and all the fanboys to go apeshit. And this causes Sanji to come out of hiding, huge nosebleed, slamming him through a wall. And Nami and Robin are kind of shocked to find him there, with Nami recognizing the outfit. She's like, yo, what the hell are you wearing? And I think it's funny, to be honest, that Sanji was even there. He was there invisible, and he saw finally, it's probably not the first time, but you got to see Nami completely naked. So Drake hears that Osoba mask is inside. He tries to go in, but is met by his own kind of prudishness, recoiling at the sight of naked women inside obviously the mixed bathhouse. And some people have said that it was an invisible Sanji which hit Drake, or who hit Drake. However, that doesn't really explain the hearts around X-Drake's head. You know, he's on the floor and he's like, yo, that's not it. That's not why I couldn't go in. But he does have hearts around his head. So I'm just like, I'm pretty sure it was probably something to do with the women. Anyway, while Nami, Shinobu, and Robin make way to leave, Drake and Hawkins, who are both North Blue natives, shit their pants at the sight of Germa 66's stealth black. And during this confusion, Sanji somehow grabs a hold of all the ladies and geppos out through the air. So either he fights both X-Drake and Hawkins, or they were so shocked that they didn't actually engage him, and he just grabbed the ladies and ran away as fast as he could. So I'm thinking it's more along those lines. I doubt he beat two supernovas by his onesies. I think it was just they were shocked that they saw this kind of childhood villain slash hero they've always known, and they were like, the heck's going on? And then he grabbed the ladies and just vanished. So I think it's more along those lines. I don't think we actually missed or off-screened a fight or anything like that. But we do receive some key info while Sanji's flying away. First, the Beast Pirates are aware of the ankle tattoos. There must be a traitor in their midst, maybe the same person who informed the Beast Pirates about Raizo being on Zou. Second, Beppo and the other two members of Law's crew, that's like Penguin and some other guy I don't really give a shit about, have been captured in an attempt to get Law to react and save them. So that's pretty close to home for Law. He's not going to let his crewmates die like that, but he is also intelligent and not as kind of led by his heart and his rage as Luffy is. So I doubt Law will react like in any stupid way. He knows that there's more important things to pay attention to, but he won't let his crewmates die. So finally, we go to Zoro, who stands at a bridge against a giant cat tiger thing who holds a halberd. I think it's a halberd anyway. I might just be making up names now. Towards Zoro. Essentially, it's a spear, a long ass spear with like a curved blade at the end. I think it's called a halberd. He's there basically telling Zoro that he has returned the Meito Shusui to its rightful place. So I assume that means Ryuma's grave. And this tiger cat dude seems to be a weapon collector of sorts, with this battle on the bridge against Zoro very clearly alluding to kind of Japanese mythology, to a fight between Benkei and Ushi Wakamaru, a story about a weapon collecting swordsman who fought and won. I think he was just like he was fighting on a bridge. Well, it wasn't fighting on a bridge. He used to challenge like samurai swordsmen, stuff like that, and he won 999 fights, or at least 999 blades from samurai who he kind of deemed unworthy of their blades. But then he fights a man named Ushi Wakamaru on the bridge, which is why they're on a bridge, and he loses against Ushi Wakamaru and becomes his follower. Zoro very clearly just wants to steal the weapons for the Alliance, but the big cat creature may respect Zoro's skills and become a great ally. Maybe he has more people that could be recruited into the Straw Hats Alliance in some way, shape or form. So that's the end of this review. That's the end of this double review, actually. Let me know what you guys thought. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Drop some comments, all of that. Yeah, actually, that's in the like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, and hopefully sometime today I should get my double My Hero out as well, and then tomorrow Taizai. So, and today as well we've got a live stream of One Punch Man, because there's no chapter coming out, so we're gonna live stream the One Punch Man Hero Association podcast with my boys. I think is Blastar gonna be there? I'm not sure. Well, the usual crew: Zonin, Satsuki, myself, Matt, Grim, Blast, Art. Who else do we have? Kishin, maybe. Anyone, man. Freaking Zaso, who knows, man. Grieva, y'all are gonna be there. Everyone's gonna be there. The usual crowd. Go check that out. I think you're gonna enjoy it. It should be pretty good. It's gonna be a freestyle, so it should be pretty crazy. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'll see you guys in a bit.